Well, hello again. It's a little bit dark and dingy today, very unusual for Western Australia. 13 degrees outside, rather chilly. I've been out to get a few bits and bobs this morning. It's 10:30 on the 21st of June 2025. It's actually the winter solstice today, so this is the shortest day of the year. Okay, let's just set the timer. Don't want it to go more than half an hour if possible. Now, what I thought was really quite interesting, that light seems to be going up and down, doesn't it? Well, I thought it looked all right for a minute there. What happened? Oh. Excellent. Mumbling production quality as usual. Okay, well, if I look a little bit dark, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you need to listen to it more than see me anyway. So, or it would be good if you listen to it. You don't really need to see me. That's a better way of putting it. Now, I nearly fell off my chair when I saw this. George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell were being interviewed by somebody. George Knapp tells us he doesn't believe in aliens. George Knapp, KLAS TV, piffle-peddler, does not believe in aliens. George's own words, I do not believe in aliens. He also tells us in all the years he's been looking into this subject, you know, ET and crashing UFOs and crashing alien spacecraft, crashing ET spacecraft, I should say. He's never met anyone who claims first-hand experience with ET materials. It's all just I've been told. Okay, this is what George Knapp is saying. Now, George Knapp is the guy that introduced us to Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar. That's a bit better, isn't it? Don't know if I can maintain that pose. That's the only thing. It's auto thingy on the camera. So is George Knapp now saying Bob Lazar is full of crap? George Knapp introduced us to Bob Lazar on KLAS TV. You know, the initial whistleblower Bob Lazar, when he was talking about the sport model and working at S4 and all this sort of stuff. That was all on KLAS TV, being presented by George Knapp. Now George Knapp is saying he doesn't believe in aliens, and he doesn't know anybody that's claimed first-hand experience working with ET materials. And that's exactly what Bob Lazar claimed, isn't it? He said he'd been working on the sport model with these silly little gravity generators. The schoolboy explanation of how an interstellar spacecraft may operate. So has Knapp fallen out with Lazar, maybe? Maybe he said to Lazar, you know, go to Arrow, get your story verified, they can check it all out. And Lazar said, oh no, get the story checked out. No. Is that the time? I've got an important appointment with my proctologist. Yeah. Bend over a bit more, Mr. Lazar, would you? And it's occurred to George Knapp that because Bob Lazar is actually hiding under the table, you know, he's peeking out from under the tablecloth, and George is still there, oh shit. You know, because he's running away and he's hiding from Arrow, that, you know, his story is probably science fiction rubbish. Of course, Eric Davis says it's science fiction rubbish. And then again, Eric Davis says, we're being visited by lots and lots of different species of ETs. He knows this as fact because he's been told by others. This whole thing is just hearsay. It's drivel, all of it. It's just drivel, isn't it? Now, George Knapp's running mate, Jeremy Corbell, makes videos. He's got a huge safe over his right-hand shoulder with a great big wheel, you know, the big three-arm wheel on the front, you know, it's protecting all that cash, all that money he's made by fleecing gullible half-wits that believe all this stuff. Jeremy Corbell, you know, what he's saying is, by having that safe there, he's saying, look at how much money I've made out of you. You gullible half-wits. And he even tells us, what on earth is that? What on earth is that? He even tells us he doesn't have to get up early in the morning anymore. You know, he doesn't need a proper job, Jeremy Corbell, because now he's peddling all this stuff. He's making such a huge pile of money, it's in a huge safe over his right-hand shoulder. So, you know, he thinks because of these suckers that buy all these DVDs and, you know, pay all this money for books and all this sort of stuff, that follow this UFO ETs coming here and crashing here nonsense, he's got enough money that he can lay in bed in the morning. He doesn't need to do a real job. Corbell is also peddling another weather or surveillance balloon video. I think this was from a few years back as well. Of course, it's in infrared. You know, anything in infrared looks a little weird, doesn't it? So it's got to be in infrared. It can't actually be a photograph because we'd see it's a weather or surveillance balloon. You know, it doesn't. He says he's enhanced the video with AI. So what are we really looking at? Oh, hang on just a second. Sorry about that. Bit of amateur radio equipment running in the background. I forgot to turn it off. So, you know, anything looks strange in infrared, doesn't it? It looks weird in infrared. It's enhanced it with AI, so we've got no idea what we're looking at. FFS. It does nothing spectacular. It appears to float along with the wind. It's not travelling fast. It's not zigzagging around. It's not going up and down. You know, it's floating along like a balloon. So I think we can put the latest balloon video from Jeremy Corbell to bed with complete confidence. It's not an ET spacecraft. Oh dear. Lou Elizondo again is peddling some photographs, this time of aliens. These were peddled and debunked back in 1993. So, you know, how low is Lou Elizondo going to go? He's run out of chandelier photographs and he's run out of crop irrigation circle photographs. He can't find anything else that looks a little bit convincing, you know. So now he's peddling these photographs of aliens that were debunked 32 years ago. I reckon he should be referred to as Low Elizondo, not Lou Elizondo, Low Elizondo. How low can that man go, really? Yeah, I mean, I've said it before, put a line through Elizondo, put a line through all of these people. It's all rubbish, and they know it's rubbish. I was looking at a CNN special. Special, pardon me being the operative word, where Steve Bassett was talking to the CNN reporter, whose name is written in here somewhere, but I can't immediately see it. The CNN guy went along to the contact in the desert menagerie, and he was standing there as a couple of coaches. I don't know whether he was on one of the coaches, but these coaches were pulling up and these people were pouring out, going to the contact in the desert conference, if that's the right word. And it looked like a menagerie. You know, it looked like 2 or 3 coaches that just arrived from Royston Vasey. That's how it looked to me. I suspect if you went to a UFO club gathering anywhere in the world, as soon as you walked into the restaurant or the pub, you would know immediately, even if you didn't know one of these people personally by sight, you would immediately know which table you were going to. As soon as you walked through the door, you would know which table you were going to. And was it Kumo the other day was talking to Lou Elizondo, and he said, "Oh, people are saying that you're making all this stuff just for a bunch of tinfoil hat nutters. That's not true, is it?" And Lou goes, "You're not very happy, Mr. Elizondo. You're not very happy at all." And he goes, "No, not at all." But that's exactly what they're doing. No one with an IQ bigger than their shoe size is taking this nonsense seriously. It would insult the intelligence of a cheese and pickle sandwich. The sort of drivel these people come out with. Anyway, Steve Bassett was there, and he's talking to the guy, and he said, we're on the cusp of disclosure. Trump will disclose. Of course he won't. He didn't last time. There's nothing to disclose. And Steve Bassett was being interviewed some time ago, a few years back now, I think, by Kremlin Jones. And he was quite disappointed that Trump had got elected the first time. And he said that, Hillary Clinton was likely to disclose. Trump will not disclose. If I remember correctly, please correct me if I am wrong. I don't think I am. I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken. So I have in fact been wrong once. So Bassett has been saying that. Steve Bassett has been saying we're on the cusp of disclosure for at least the last 20 years. Trump's not going to disclose. Trump has no interest in this subject. There is nothing to disclose. Trump has said on at least 2 TV interviews that I personally have seen that personally he doesn't believe in aliens. That tells me no one has told him behind the scenes we're being visited by aliens. No one from any department or any program has said to Trump, "Excuse me, Mr. President, but this is true." Because then he would believe in aliens, wouldn't he? He doesn't believe in aliens. So no one's told Trump this is happening. So it's not happening, is it? It's just complete rubbish. Now the rest of the crowd that poured off these coaches regaled each other with ridiculous science fiction stories. There's a guy there with long hair, looked like he's a refugee from some long disbanded rock group. And he said, "Oh yeah, I've met the tall Nordic, they're normally accompanied by a couple of short greys, I thought, yeah, got any selfies? Take any pictures with the phone, Of course, there's zero evidence to back up that ridiculous story. One woman said, now this is, I fell off my chair laughing when I heard this. One woman said she was watching TV in bed when the TV screen split in two and an alien grey walked through it into her bedroom. Apparently the alien grey told her we should unite and come together. This is the thing that will save Earth. Now this woman lying in bed, of course, is just the person you need to give that sort of information to, because she's just the sort of person that can unite everybody and save Earth. She doesn't say whether the ET offered to replace the television. I mean, if that happened to me, if I was lying in bed watching the television and the screen split in half and a grey alien popped out and started talking to me, I'd pick it up by the throat and wring its neck. And then I would try and find out if it was actually edible. Because I think that's a very inconsiderate way of entering somebody's life, smashing up their rather expensive flat-screen TV. Do you reckon the greys would be edible? Yeah, well, if that happens to you, stick a fork in it, see what happens. Absolute rubbish. It would insult the intelligence of a cheese and pickle sandwich. This is just drivel. She's also a member of a militarised sovereign nation. They've set up a militarised sovereign nation that will unite us. They're all sitting around in their shirts, with the badges and the epaulettes and all that sort of stuff. They even have a countdown clock to what they call cosmic revelation. Now, we won't have too long to wait to find out this is complete and utter drivel, because it was counting down from 844 days. So, and that was what, 2 weeks ago? So, you know, there's a few days have gone by since then. So we're not talking about a long time. Was this 2027, is it? 840 days? I didn't sit down and think about it, to be honest. I didn't think beyond this is complete and utter rubbish. Anyway, this militarised sovereign nation, you know, with all their shirts and their rank insignia, means a checkout chick can be a major or a colonel at the weekend. Morning, Major. Yes, morning, Faulty. morning, Colonel. You know, and then morning, Major. And during the week, she's beep, 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 beep. 4 bags of crisps, or 3 bags of crisps. That'll be $250, please. Checkout chick. Can be a major at the weekend with their militarised sovereign nation. Now these are the sort of people that goes to these that go to this contact in the desert rubbish. And Kumar, I think his name is completely wrong. You know, Elizondo and all these people are precisely catering for all these tinfoil hat nutcases, all these tinfoil hat nutters. People with zero critical thinking ability. People who are super gullible. You know, anyone want to buy a bridge? Leave a comment below. So, you know, people come from around the world to sit there and listen to this complete and utter rubbish. You know, I've said it before, you couldn't pay me enough money to go to this thing, but I mean, if I had gone there and paid $600 or $900, and I was wandering around, and there's a lot of people dressed in uniform saying they're a military, what are they called, a militarised sovereign nation, and that they interact with aliens all the time. One woman was telling us, oh yeah, all the time. No, there's no selfies, there's no photographs of any of this. You know, the one where the television split in half and an alien came through the screen into a bedroom. Seemed perfectly happy that, you know, she would have to unite the planet and buy a new TV. These people are nutters, nutcases. They're not worth your time of day. They're really not. And people pay $600 to go and mingle with these cretins. The CNN reporter was Donny O'Sullivan. And I think Mr. O'Sullivan is probably as sceptical as I am, to be perfectly honest. He certainly looked it. Still, I suppose you need a little bit of critical thinking ability if you're going to work for CNN, really, don't you? Yeah, I mean, if I'd have gone to that contact in the desert thing, I would have been demanding a refund. I would have said, this is complete and utter bullshit. You've wasted my time. I should be sending you a bill. ET isn't coming here. ET isn't crashing here. ET has never been here. It's all complete and utter rubbish. Science fiction drivel. As I said before, put a line through Ross Coulthart. Anyone, he was talking to Chris Bledsoe, you know, Bledsoe about his predictions, and you know, anyone that gives Bledsoe the time of day should not be given the time of day. You know, it's again that the drivel that man comes out with would insult the intelligence of a cheese and pickles sandwich. Okay, well that's it. There's not very much going on. I've said it before. This subject is circling the drain. I think people in it are beginning to realise that, and they're probably going to do the best they can to milk as much out of it as possible before it finally goes down the gurgler. So there we go. Another mumbling video. With my opinion, of course, my opinion only of what I have seen over the last week or so, probably, in the wonderful world of the ET piffle-peddlers. And if you missed out on the League of Gentlemen television series, and you've never been to Royston Vasey, I strongly recommend you go to the next contact in the desert, where you can wander around that menagerie and get a feel for the kind of people that are supporting this rubbish. As always, if you've struggled through the video all the way to this point, many thanks for watching, and maybe I'll catch you again.